Is this thing on? I forgot to turn on my mic, but I'm happy to be here with you
Me
guys.
too. I forgot to turn on my mic too. Yeah, we just got these new mics. Hubert just ordered them in like this week, so we're testing them out to see how they're doing.
Tell me you're a beginner without telling me you're a beginner, right?
I know we didn't even have microphones ready to go.
No, we had a mom which is like there's so much going on behind the scenes, trying to prepare for you guys
Yeah, trying to prepare, making sure that everything's all perfect, and
and smooth. But anyways, we're transmitting from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. How are you, Riley? How you doing? How's your week been?
good. We made some soups at school Monday, or no, Tuesday. I made some soup at school.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made lobster bisque and
Oof.
we made a mushroom soup with like a puff pastry on top. So it's like you cook it, you make the soup and you cook it in the oven with a puff pastry, and then it like gets this nice like golden top, and then you break it. It's kind of like a crouton into it, like or like crackers. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. We also made what was the other one? It was I don't remember what the other soup was. We made three soups on Monday. It
Wow,
was pretty
lobster
good.
bisque is probably one of my favorite what do you call it, soups. Mushroom soup is also one of them, but the lobster bisque I only made it once, so maybe one of these days we should make it live here because I forgot how to make it. So maybe we can
Yeah, we could
do
make
one
it. It's just
together.
we have to buy lots of lobster shells because you have to make the lobster stock, which
Yeah,
is we made that like 2 weeks ago before we made the lobster bisque because you have to make lobster stock, which you take the lobster shells,
yeah.
you blend them all up inside of like a Vitamix,
Hmm.
right, or like a RoboCoupe, and then you take them and you cook that instead of chicken stock,
Yeah.
or to use water depending on what you more flavor you want, and then cook it. Then you're gonna for like 3 or 4 hours, and then you're gonna strain it into chinois, right? And you want
Yeah.
to make sure that it's the particulate, there's none, right? So then it's nice and clear, and then you use that for the stock of the soup. It's pretty good. It's
Mm,
so good. It was so creamy too.
that's so yummy for my
Yeah.
tummy.
How was your week?
Oh, it was good, you know. It's the same old, nothing much really. Just cooking all day, prepping food. Nothing really special at the moment. Nothing stuck out today except me recovering, but whatever. We'll leave that one side.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Uh, what are your thoughts on customer service?
see, this is a touchy subject. Well, not so much touchy. Now that we're talking about what happened through the week, um, I something happened to me. I'm still debating whether I was wrong or I was right, but I'm feeling that I'm right. So I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. I'm not gonna mention names. I'm not here to put people down. I'm not here to put business down or whatever. I'm only here to clarify what customer service is or an idea of it, you know, because it seems like some people don't know what it is or they're just used to their own ways and that's the way it is and you know, it's your way or the highway kind of a thing.
Well, I feel like there's kind of like a this is like a set in stone thing of when you think of customer service. Like when you go to well, there's like two different ways I feel like I look at customer service. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah,
So if you're going to like a fast food restaurant, or like if you're going to like a McDonald's, right?
yeah,
You're not really expecting them to bow down to you and give you all the needs you need, right? It's going to be like the most minimal kind of customer service you're going to get. It's like, hello, how are you doing? What can I get for you, right? Not really much like trying to get to know your day or how you've been doing and stuff like that, right? But when you go to like a restaurant, server will sit you down, try to get to know you a little bit, right?
yeah,
Talk to you, make you feel more comfortable there, right? But when you go to like fast food, right, you're not really getting that kind of experience
yeah.
everywhere, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess two different types of customer service. I guess the restaurant business, I guess you are more intimate with the customer because you see them every, I don't know, every minute, every so often, I should say. Um, for me, I haven't really had bad experiences except, you know, the food could come out wrong, but it's not really the service fault. You know what I mean? The only thing I don't agree with is being called sweetie, honey, and stuff like that. That stuff, that's not for me. I get it. People do it because they want to get good tips. but I'm nobody's honey. I'm nobody's sweetie. So that's the only thing I don't like, you know.
Really?
Yes, I don't like being called
Oh
sweetie
my
or
God, that's
honey.
a shocker for me because like usually when I go out, like when servers are nice to me, I'm like, okay, like I know that they're just doing their job and it's not like they actually want to like they want to say that to me, right? But it's like I find it like a nice little like cherry on the top. You know what I mean? Like it's I feel like they're just trying to be nice and like you're looking at it like they're like,
No, I just, to me, that's something my partner should be saying to me. You know what I mean? I feel like that's just too close for me. I feel like a lot of guys like that because if a girl's saying sweetie to them, it's like, oh my God, I'm sweetie to them. But I'm not that type of a guy, you know. I'm just no. If you want a good tip, just serve me the food, just
you
my
want a good
drinks
tip?
and all that stuff, and I'll give you a good tip. That's
Yeah.
that's just how it is. That's for me. That's good customer service. But anyways, going back to my example, the bad customer service that I had this week is that I went to a place where they sell meat, and all I wanted was 2 kilograms of sliced sirloin. That's it. So I get to the place, and I'm told that they had to shut down, they had to close or clean up the slicer because um, once they close, I guess the employees don't get paid past the time. They don't get paid extra for cleaning whatever they have to clean. But in reality, it's not really my issue as a customer. I don't need to know that kind of stuff. I feel like you're in the business, uh, what do you call it? If you're in business, you
Like
should be able to
hospitality.
hospitality. You should be able to know what customer service is. You know what I mean? So anyways, I walk in and I'm told that they've already cleaned the machine and they can't serve me anymore sirloin because they had to shut down half an hour, not 15 minutes. I walked in 13 minutes before the time, half an hour because I guess the boss don't want to pay them anymore after they close. So I didn't get my meat. I had to let them know that hey, there's still time for you to for the closing time. Why aren't you giving my sirloin? And I guess the lady got upset. Like as soon as I walked in, she like walked away because I guess she didn't want to like serve us and stuff. So I feel that for me, that's just really, really bad customer service. Like I work in the hospitality business, and me saying no to a customer is a big no-no.
Yeah, I used well, we both work in hospitality. I used to work like at Five Guys, and when I worked at Five Guys, it was everything was hospitality there. You had to be so nice to the customers. Like anyone who came in the front door, you had to say hello to them. You had to make sure like the whole team would say hello to every customer that came in the front door. I mean, unless we were like so busy where it was a lineup outside the front door, then we're not really doing that. But when it was not busy and it was like minimal times, it was we would always make sure every customer got like the best experience they could get. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if you're working in hospitality, you kind of depend on those tips. You know what I mean? And like, I
And
don't.
it's the sales. Like, don't
Yeah.
you want to have sales?
Well, yeah, and I'd say like when I worked at Five Guys, and people, if we ever tried to shut down like the griddle early or like shut down a fryers early, and like we couldn't serve fries or burgers to a customer, my boss would tell me that we're stealing from the company, basically, essentially. That's how they would look at it. So I'm surprised that like a meat place where it's fairly easy to clean a meat slicer. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's three things to take apart, and like they
I
just
know,
they
I
can't
know.
they
I
can't even
use a
slice.
slicer. That doesn't even take more than 5 minutes to clean up a slicer.
I know, and it's like that's just insane that they wouldn't even consider like just giving you the beef that you needed.
And not just that, like I was so let down because like I walked in at the same amount of time that I had that day, and I was served. You know what I mean? And this time, I guess maybe it was different people, different employees that they refused to do it for me. So all they said, oh, we can slice it for you 1 inch, like a 1 inch thick. At that moment, I did not think how big an inch was. She comes out with big pieces like this of sirloin, and I'm just like, oh my god! And I left. I was so let down. I had to go somewhere else to go get the stuff because like that's not good customer service. You know what I mean? And the worst part is that I got people to have an opinion on it on over the internet. And I had a few people saying that basically I have to adapt to their ways. You know what I mean? So what? I have to be guessing when they're gonna shut down. I have to be guessing. Oh my god,
So what on
are they
their
gonna close?
so if their close time? Sorry, go ahead.
No,
If their close time is like 9 p.m., then you have to show up at 8:45 because you think they're gonna close 15 minutes early. Like that doesn't make sense to me. How are you gonna conform to something that's like if your establishment online like on Google, people look it up and it says like, oh, Jim and Joe's Subway shop closes at 9 p.m. tonight.
no,
Then you go in there at 8:50 going to get a sub because you want to get a sub before they close. And they, oh no, sorry, we already closed on our cold table and all our buns are put away in the freezer or in the fridge. We can't make you a sandwich. Sorry, it's too late. But it's not even 9 o'clock yet. Like, what? How are you supposed to be able to determine when to show up then? Oh, so if I show up at 6 o'clock, what if things are put away at 6 o'clock? Then I can't get food at 6 o'clock. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense.
exactly. And not everyone. Like I don't stay home just like this doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like I work. As soon as I get out. Basically, I have to run and go get it. You know what I mean? Not everybody has that. I guess easy life. Just like go to the meat place and just go whenever you feel like it. No, I work and I have things to do. You know what I mean? I went to this different place and I showed up at the same time, and they were happy to serve me. So I feel like there's a big difference, and I don't want to generalize. I'm not saying everyone, but I feel like in the Latino community, that's what they're used to. They're used to people catering to them. You know what I mean? Why?
Dude, wait, what?
You know what catering to them means? Like
Catering to them?
catering to them. No, I guess I
Yeah.
didn't say it right. Catering to them. So I have to. So these two people were basically telling me to show up early. You know what I
And
mean?
you have to cater to what they want.
Exactly. No, I shouldn't have to. I'm a
Yeah.
customer, and as far as I'm concerned, 6 o'clock was the closing time. You know, I shouldn't have to be guessing. Oh, are they gonna close? Oh my God, did they shut down the slicer? It's a freaking
They shut down
slicer.
the
For
slicer.
God's sakes, like I slice tomatoes every day, and it takes like literally 3 minutes to clean it right. You know what I mean? Let's say
You guys still use the meat slicer for the tomatoes?
we have to for certain reasons.
Because you guys broke the tomato slicer.
I
With,
don't
by
want to.
putting it,
I don't want to talk
by
about.
putting an
I don't
onion
want to talk
through
about
it.
work because I work there, and I don't
By
want to
putting
say
an
the wrong thing.
by putting an onion through it. I was there the day that it happened. I remember that day. Oh my god. I'm not gonna name names, but it was so funny. He's like, Riley, I just figured out the best way to slice the onions for the burger onions. And I was like, oh really? Like, how are you doing it? And I turn around and he's got the tomato slicer with an onion jammed halfway through it. And he's trying to push it. He's like, dude, it's getting stuck. It's getting stuck. I can't push it through. And I was like, well, obviously, look at what you're trying to do. Look at like you're pushing an onion through it. And I remember that was like the second week we had the tomato slicer. Remember?
Yeah.
Because the purchaser had just bought it. Oh
Actually, I
my
don't
god,
remember. I don't know where they're going.
that was last year.
But anyways, I found this thing here where it says good customer service requires someone who is kind, empathetic, patient, and acknowledgeable about the particular company processes. They make a good effort to de-escalate, irritate customer, and hopefully resolve issues in a positive manner, but yet can be firm when they have to say no. And they were firm to say no. I am not putting the slicer back together to slice the meat.
No, but the thing is, how I would look at it is, why is their establishment making it so that they have to leave by the time they're closed? They should have a buffer time of at least 30 minutes after the closing time for them to be able to clean the slicer, be able to clean the floors, whatever their problem was that day, right? The slicer, for example, they should give them the extra 15 minutes after 6 p.m. to be so that okay, you're done at 6:15. So make sure the meat slicer is clean, so you guys can always make sure the meat is sliced until 6 p.m. You know what I mean? That should be a standard thing. I feel like that most people are following. You know what I mean? Like,
The thing is, like, at the same time, I understand that there's labor, whatever that you have to meet and stuff like that, but it shouldn't affect the customer at all. You know what I mean? If your boss is not paying you that time, then maybe it's your time to put your foot on the ground and say, hey, you need to pay me this 15 minutes because it's illegal for you not to pay me this extra minutes that you require me to stay longer and clean whatever machinery needs to be cleaned. Don't you think?
Yeah, this also says here. Customer experience is where we exceed expectation. We look at every step of the buyer's journey and look at opportunities to maximize touch points, how we can elevate high moments, and how can we minimize low moments. Where can we put in thoughtful surprise and delight moment? Like, you didn't have any of that when you went to this place, right? There was
No.
nothing like that. They didn't even think about your experience or...
Everything was already shut down. Everything was packaged. Everything had saran wrap on it. Everything which they were just basically ready to close and go. Maybe they already used to it because like a lot of us, some of us Latinos, not all of us, would walk in and say, "Oh, we shut down the slicer and we can't serve you the meat anymore." "Oh, okay, thank you, bye," and we just leave. Like no, that's not how it is. That's not how it is. And these comments, we found it on. I'm gonna give shout outs to Golden Amber on Reddit. That's where we're getting this information from. And I also found like a video of what customer service is, and I'm gonna play it. It's from YouTube, from your Employment Solutions
Yeah,
page.
I'll link it in the description of the live stream so that
So maybe you learn from it.
we give credit to the people on YouTube.
Exactly. We're talking. Anyways, I'm gonna play it.
An establishment and
Right.
helping them with whatever their questions are and their needs.
Customer service is assisting everyone meeting their needs and wants.
What is good customer service?
Good customer service is just the basic standard customer service that everyone is given to that customer.
Good customer service is when you go out knowing that everything is taken care of without any doubts.
Being friendly, patient, helping others the best that you can.
Good customer service is meeting the expectations of our customers as far as how they want to be served.
Good customer service is providing the appropriate amount of support to the customers that they're looking for through your interaction with them. You engage what they're needing, what they're wanting, and you satisfy those needs.
Now define excellent customer service.
Bueno,
Excellent.
we're gonna leave it as that. So have you ever come across something like this?
Like bad customer service,
Yes.
or just like in general, like of someone shutting their restaurant down early. Because I will tell you a couple of stories from when I worked at Five Guys when we did try to do things like that.
Tell me.
And like, I remember there was a couple of times, well, actually a lot more than a couple of times, but
Keep going.
where like I'd clean. So on Thursday we have to clean out all the fryers, right? We have to boil them out, make sure they're all cleaned and like deep cleaned. So a lot of Thursdays we'd clean the fryers out and make them so we only have one fryer, right? And then by like we'd close at 10 p.m. So like 9:58 or like 9:50 I'd shut down all the fryers, right? In like 10 minutes no one's gonna come in, right? Somebody would come in and it'd be the worst thing because I'm just like I want to tell them no. You know what I mean? Like, I really want to tell them no.
So
And
you're
there was
around.
Well, I'm not allowed, but there was a couple of times when it was like 9:58, where like people came in like 2 minutes before close, and I looked at them, I was like, "No, man, like I'm sorry, we can't do it." You know what I mean? Like we can't, we have to close the restaurant. We can't do it. You know what I mean? Like because sometimes it'd be family. Like there's times where I had one or two families walk in like 10 minutes before we close, and they expect to be able to sit in the restaurant and do all this stuff after we close, and I'm like, if you're gonna order, I'm more than glad for you, but you cannot sit in the restaurant and eat tonight.
And that's
You know what I mean?
understandable. It's
like-
very understandable.
And I actually would feel bad. So I'm like, they came out for an experience to try to have a good time with their family, and I'm the one being like the Grinch and like you can't eat here. You know what I mean? But it's like we got to get our job done, and we have, like you said, we have labor costs to meet, and we had budgets we had to hit. You know what I mean? So it's like, and like you already knew, you worked there for a couple of weeks with me at Five Guys. There's peanuts there.
And I'm gonna tell you this.
Peanuts.
I hate it working there. Only because I was forced to say hi to the customers and be extra nice. Like you're
Put a fake
required to be
smile.
extra nice.
Yeah.
And you know what? Whatever. It's my job, and I have to do it. It's my job.
I think the worst thing I hated about it, I didn't mind the customer service. I just hated cleaning up peanuts every day.
Well, I mean, like you only set up for a mess. You know what I mean? Like some parents let their kids run around with the peanuts on there and they just get it everywhere, and then you have to go out and clean it. Whatever is part of your job, but that's just a setup.
But it's every like 10 minutes you got to go out and clean the same table that has peanuts on it again. You know what I mean? It's just like I feel like you start like losing your mind a little bit. You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the job that I work at right now, like we can't say no to the customer.
I
That's
mean,
just sales. You want the customers to come back. You don't want the customers to go away.
the good part is for you, Hubert, is you're not in charge of saying yes or no to the customers. You know what I mean? You're
No,
only
but we can also, as a kitchen, we can affect it.
well, yeah, you can affect the experience by making the food bad or not making it right or
Or shutting down early.
or undercooking their food or whatever it is, right? Shutting down early, right? But like where you're working right now, I feel like you guys would never shut down early. You know what I mean? The establishment you're at that would never happen. I never worked there a day in my life where we shut down early, where we got to go home early. Never. Actually, we only ever shut down early there when we had to do hood vent cleaning, and that was because it was a mandatory cleaning that the company would force upon us. That
Well, you have to.
right, but that was the only time we ever got to go home early, and that was like 10 o'clock. But that was like I think that was some of the best times I ever had closing because everybody was out at the same time as me. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'd always work 2 to 10 and then go home before the closers. And then like those days it'd be like, oh, me and so are now off at the same time, and it's like a Tuesday night and no one's really going out. We should just go have a couple of drinks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, these people that give me their opinion basically say there's never, how did they say? How would
See-
it translate to this? Basically, they were saying that I'm one of those customers that just come in the last minute and I'm being annoying. Basically, I wasn't being annoying. I was just stating the fact that you guys close at 6 o'clock. Why are you not serving me what I want? You know, I'm a paying customer. No, I don't have the time to come in earlier because, you know, I can't. You know, I have a life, I guess.
Yeah.
You
I
know
get
what I
that.
mean? You shut down at 6, you shut down at 6. Because I went to this other place and they were all happy to serve me. It was the same time and they went above and beyond and I was so happy with it.
Did you tip them?
Well, I mean, it's a place. You don't really, it wasn't a restaurant or.
Well, you're just making it seem
So
like,
every
you're
time-
making it seem like you did though. That's why you're like they went above and beyond and all this stuff. compared to
Because
the other-
they like I don't know if you heard the audio. They basically were talking about how you go above and beyond to make the customer feel comfortable. You want them to come back. That's what I mean. Is that they made me want to come back.
Well, that's good. Then you probably will go back there instead of the other place, right?
I didn't want to go to the place. See, this is the thing about me. Is like if you're fighting
One and
it, if you
done.
think that you're right and you're right and you're right, you know what?
One and done.
I don't need that stuff. I don't need a headaches. No. I don't need to waste my energy and stuff like that. But yeah,
Makes sense to me. Honestly, I'm full in agreement with customer service being
it should be a priority because it's your sales.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what they teach us at work. Is like you want the customer to come back. That's it.
Well, that's exactly that's how they make money, right? That's how you generate revenue. It's creating a fan base, creating customers,
Exactly.
creating
I work as a supervisor at this hotel. I'm not gonna say where. And again, like I have to put like a hi, how are you? And that's not me. I'm not a social person, but it's my job to do it. You know what I mean?
yeah, fake smile, right?
Yes, if they have to be a fake smile,
Fake it
will
till
be
you
a
make
fake
it.
smile. I mean, I'm getting paid for it. And if your boss is abusing you, then maybe you should start looking into it because it's illegal for you not to get paid after they close.
Yeah. So if you are working after your end time, you should be getting
Like,
paid.
I could be flexible too. If they said, "Hey, like you know, there was an accident that you know I need to leave. We need to leave. I don't know, whatever." Then yes, I would understand. You know what I mean? Because like I said, stuff happens, life happens. If they would have said that to me that something happened, then I would have been like, "Oh, okay, I'll come back another day then." You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna cater to you if I feel like you're wrong, and I feel like in this, you were wrong.
Did you even buy the meat or did you just leave?
I left because they.
I mean, that's right of you. I mean,
I
they
wanted.
brought out with 2 pieces of meat and then you just looked at it and you didn't want it or what?
It's not that I wasn't trying to be I wasn't gonna I was for a mean person. You know what I mean? They had a slicer in the back. Couldn't you change like the settings on it or something? Because she did slice it. She went to the back and sliced it. Maybe she didn't know how to use a slicer. I don't know, but she sliced it into 1 inch thick.
Well, 1 inch is like,
It's pretty thick, and I want it like thinly sliced. You know what I mean? Like I usually get maybe it's 8 slices or 10 slices out of 2 kilograms, I think. I don't remember. But I've been there before, and I've been served at that time before, so I don't understand what the hell happened that day. You know what I mean? And the lady was, she was trying to make me feel bad that, they don't get paid extra and all this and all that. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's not none of my business. That's not my issue. That's not my problem. You know what I mean? Where's your boss? Can I speak to her? Can I have a card so I can call? And she seemed like she didn't know what to do. And it felt like the boss didn't want to come out because I said, hey, can I talk to her? She went to the back and she comes back. She's like, oh, she's busy at the moment. And then she went back again. And I guess she was still doing something in the back. I don't think she wanted to come out and talk to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she told me she didn't have a card, so she ended up giving me a receipt. You know how the receipts have a phone number there?
Mm-hmm.
Why? It's useless because all I'm doing is I'm calling the place, and she's probably going to answer the same person that was trying to serve me. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to call. I'm not going to bother. It's done and over with. It's just I want people to understand that customer service should be a priority, It's your sales. That's where you get your money from. You don't want people not to come back.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. That's just my point of view. And I wasn't going to do, a video about this, but somebody suggested it. So here I am doing it. What do you think about what customer service is?
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah. But yeah.
I think that's the end of our podcast for today.
No.
No?
We're going to talk about
What?
airplanes.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're not done yet. Almost done. But yes, that's that, and that's it. And
Well, honestly, I've been kind of worried about going on planes for, because we're going to Shakira, right? In May. And I'm, all these accidents lately, I've just been...
see, this is another subject that we wanted to talk about. I don't know exactly when dates or stuff like that with airplanes are going down. It seems like it's a trend almost, because every day, oh, this airplane went down, this airplane went down, and this airplane went down. So I'm freaking scared of these airplanes.
Yeah, the one that happened in, where was it? Where it flipped upside down?
Oh, that's in Toronto.
Yeah? Dude, I seen the video of it, it was so scary. Is that the Delta one? The Delta?
Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah. A Bombardier CRJ 900 crashed upon landing at Toronto Pearson International Airport. It flipped upside down, but all 76 passengers and 4 crew aboard survived the crash, while 21 occupants were injured. But, I heard on the video for it too, that's unheard of. Planes, when they crash, they never flip upside down. Well, they never flip upside down.
So I looked into it because some people were saying that people should have died. That thing should have been exploded or something. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this, but I looked into it, and they said that there was this strong winds hitting it from the left side. So I was trying to maneuver it back to
Straight?
to the road, I guess. And then it touched down, but I guess at that moment, the wind hit hard, and that's when it hit the right, and that's when
It hit the side of the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's when it turned upside down. But
Yeah, there was another one on February 6th. The one that was before that was the 208B Grand Caravan flying from...
Grand Caravan
flying
sounds
from
like a minivan.
Unalak Kalit to Nome, Alaska. Disappeared from the Norton Sound, and the crash site was located the following day. All 10 aboard were killed.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I love traveling.
Oh my God, that's why I'm very glad that when we went to Los Angeles this past year, that we drove there. Even though it was kind of a trek, I feel like it was way safer, you know what I mean? Because, I don't know, just every time I go on an airplane, I always think, what's going to happen, you know?
That's the thing is, I'm a very paranoid person. I like to be grounded. When I go on airplanes, I'm scared of turbulence. Turbulence scares the crap out of me. So people tell me maybe I should take a shot of something or take melatonin. I don't know what it's called. and sleep on the airplane, but I can't. I get too paranoid. I get too worked up in my head that I get anxiety and I can't go to sleep.
Like my mom, she has a really hard time with turbulence. I remember we were flying together once. I don't know if we were going to Arizona
Yeah.
to see my grandparents, and there was a really bad turbulence. And at that time, I was kind of like a brat, and I was kind of being fun of my mom, and I was going like this on the airplane,
Oh my.
and like I was like, mom, look what's happening, we're shaking, and she was losing it on me. She was like, don't do that ever again. I never want you to ever make me feel afraid on the airplane again, because I was so scared. I felt like we were, because the whole time it was like shaky, you know what I mean? Like it's one of those flights that was just super like windy, so.
Oh my God. See, like I want to go back to Europe. I want to go to Africa, but I don't want to go. I haven't been to Africa. I said I want to go to Africa, but it scares me that I'm going to be in the air for so long. Oh my, oh my. Like the longest I've been on an airplane is 10 hours, and that's so long for me to be up there. And just knowing that there's going to be turbulence and stuff like that, it just scares the crap out of me.
And you can't like, unless you have enough money to get those pods, because then you have
Which
like
pods?
the business class pods. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
You're still dying, Riley.
yeah, but I just feel like at least you're dying in fashion, in
You're
style.
You're dying first class.
You're
You're
dying
gonna die
first
like
class.
expensive.
You're dying in a bed. You know what I mean? At least you. Hey, it's better than dying next to like everyone crammed together like this, sitting in a seat for 10 hours and you can't even move your neck. You know what I mean?
You're still gonna get hurt. Like,
If you
it doesn't
crash.
matter where. Like you can tell me I could be in the cockpit and I still be scared.
So yeah, for the one in Toronto, it says at the time, blowing snow persisted a following winter storm that had passed over the region in previous 2 days. Winds were coming from the west at 51 kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
For only the Americans, it's 32 miles per hour.
The what?
All the people from the United States,
Yeah, what?
it's 32 miles per hour.
Oh, because it's different. Yeah.
51 kilometers an hour of wind. So
That's-
that's probably why it.
That was a factor that didn't help the airplane. Because I guess the pilot was trying to maneuver it. You
So
know?
he probably shouldn't have tried to maneuver it.
I
Eh?
guess that's.
I mean, I shouldn't be saying anything about pilots, but I'm just
I
saying.
don't know anything about that.
Me
so-
neither. But I'm just saying maybe. Who knows, right?
But that's what I read is that at some point I guess he shouldn't have. I don't know. All I know is that the wind didn't help the situation, and that's what like that's so scary.
The aftermath.
The aftermath, yeah. But I guess these passengers are getting 30 million per person. 30 million, I guess, are getting each. Or am I wrong? 30,000, 30 million. I'm
Really?
pretty sure it's 30 million.
Shall I find out?
That's what
Shall
they
I
were
find out?
offered. Yeah, find out.
Delta connections.
It's like even though it's not my money, I wasn't in the airplane. It's like, oh my God, like, should I be happy about this? Yeah, I'd be happy, but it makes me think like it took this accident that I could have died in to get this money. You know what I mean? So it's scary at the same time. Does it make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Nebula? What does my mama think?
I'm trying to find out how. Oh, okay, so Delta offered each 80 people on board $30,000 payout.
Oh, 30,000.
The offer was no strings attached and did not affect passengers' future legal rights.
It shouldn't.
30,000, dude. That's.
And I'm not saying they don't deserve it. That's not what I'm saying. But like, how like in this situation, it was nature who basically kind of caused this. I don't know if the pilot had anything to do with it. How did they determine that they should be paying out of their pocket because it's their fault? And I'm not saying that's what they said, that it was their fault because of this happened. You know, like how did they determine that? I'm curious.
How much they get?
Yeah, like how did they determine that it was that the airline has to pay?
Because it's the airline's fault.
But that's what I mean. How if nature was part of the factor?
Yeah, because they don't want. Because people would still go after them for shit, for stuff.
I guess you're right. I mean,
Some people are crazy. You know what I mean?
you know, I'm gonna now that we're talking about this, I had a girlfriend years and years ago. She had 2 crashes.
An airplane?
No, car crashes. This is
Oh.
different. Sorry.
Oh my
I
god!
should have specified.
Oh my god! I was like, how did she
No.
survive?
2 car crashes, but one, I guess both times she was driving someone to BC. A friend. She was driving this person to BC. She had an accident, and then they all came back and stuff like that. And this friend who she was driving to BC was suing my girlfriend for reckless driving, apparently. She was trying to get money out of my girlfriend because they had an accident. You know what I mean? And it wasn't exactly reckless driving. It was just, she was just trying to get money out of my girlfriend. And then after these 2 accidents, my girlfriend still was friends with this person.
Why?
You know what I mean? And this person was friends with her after, she was suing her.
Why?
I don't know.
How could you still be friends after
I
that?
don't know. I wouldn't have, and I wanted the same thing, and I don't understand it. But yes, people are crazy. People will take advantage of the situation if they can. If I guess the situation presents itself, they will take advantage of it. And I guess you're right. But I'm not saying people in the airplane don't deserve it. I mean, I don't know what happened.
definitely
I'm not
deserve
a
it.
pilot. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not nothing. I was just curious.
But also think about like the trauma that's going to come from that.
No, and I probably wouldn't want to fly again.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you would probably never even want to look at another airplane again in your entire life after being in a crash like that, where it's like you've seen the video of them pushing everybody out, like trying to get them outside,
Yes.
right? And like everyone's just like, their faces are all just like, what just happened? Like, how are we alive? You know what I mean? Like, it's a miracle that no one died in that crash.
Did you ever see the video? I think it was KLM. I'm not sure. Of this guy who he said something in Arabic, and then right after the plane crashed, and he was one of the survivors. Like only the back of the airplane, I guess most of it was still there,
Really?
but the front was like all gone. Your beds were all gone. Remember your beds that you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. That part was all gone, it all exploded, and he was one of the survivors. I don't know if it was an AI video, but I've seen it, and it's the scariest thing ever. I don't know. Like, my God. I love not flying. I love traveling. Flying is the quickest thing that you could do, but it's so scary. Anyways,
Yeah.
That's
We're gonna be on a plane in May, so good
yeah.
for us.
We're gonna go to a concert pretty soon here. You're gonna see videos. Oh yeah, now we're talking about this. Check out my videos. I just uploaded a video today. It's about this town in BC. It's a ghost town. Take a look. There is a short video and there's I think it's a half an hour video. So take your pick.
Yeah, I'll be on his page.
Check it out. Check out our
Check out our podcast page, QR 6.70. It's on Facebook. Also going to be linked in the description. So
like the page, share, tell your friends.
yeah, tell everyone you know.
Yeah, and that's it. If you have any ideas for any topics that you want us to talk about,
Or you want us to
or
do anything, you want to see anything us do, like let us know in the comments, or
if you want to come here and join us,
yeah, for a podcast, message us, DM us.
let us know. And yeah, we're gonna go offline pretty soon here. We just want to thank you for being here watching us. We appreciate you being here, and we'll see you next weekend. Take care.
Peace out.